Hello and welcome back to another episode of my MotoGP 22 career mode, and today we are here for the 10th and 11th rounds of my Moto3 season at Sachsenring and Assen. Now if you haven't seen the last episode, I do recommend you go check that one out before you do see this one, because it was actually quite a good episode. The AI fought back, the AI were back on the pace at both Mugello and Catalunya. Their pace was so much better. Mugello not so much as Catalunya, to be fair. Catalunya, they actually completely outclassed me. I did get a little bit unlucky on the last lap getting that wheelie. Potentially could have fought for the victory without that, but even still, they actually were there on pace, whereas in Mugello, I made a mistake at the start of the race, which stopped me from being able to actually win because I dropped so far through the field. So overall, it wasn't a great episode for me. We lost quite a lot of points to Andrea Mina in the championship, so this time I want to rectify that. So we've got to advance forward to the German Grand Prix, a track where I've struggled a little bit in the past, just because of the long corners. I tend to struggle a little bit. If it's wet, I know it'll be quite difficult, but in the Moto3 class, I'm not really sure how much that'll be the case. Probably be able to sort of muscle it around a bit more in Moto3. Plus last year, I can't really remember how quick they were because they all crashed at turn 11. There was a bug where they used to crash every single time, so I actually don't know exactly how quick their race pace is. But we'll head into this weekend now then, and I'll see you after practice. So then, we're jumping straight to qualifying here, and you can see we're actually in qualifying 1. Now, I did just record a section talking about the results of FP1, but I realised I'd forgot to record it, so my apologies for that one. But we were second in that session, just behind Alberto Sura. But it seems like over the rest of the weekend, the AI have improved even more. And to be honest, it's going to be a tough ask for me to go through to qualifying 2, because I gave it everything I had in FP1. Soft, power 3, and still was only second place. And then they've all jumped ahead of that. I'm actually the first guy just to drop into Q1, unfortunately. We almost got through, but not quite. So it is going to be hard because the AI are super strong at this circuit. I've got Sector 1 over them, and I can kind of manage Sector 2, but Sectors 3 and 4, they have like half a second on me, which at Sachsenring is a ridiculous amount. They're just so fast through those turns. I don't know how they do it, but to be honest, long corners have always been a bit of an Achilles heel of mine, so yeah, I knew I was going to struggle coming in here, and the last few years AI have been very strong here because they can turn a little bit better than the player anyway, which at this circuit really does create the massive advantage for them. I seem to remember thinking back to the previous games that actually in the race, they're not quite as strong as they are over one lap. I think when the tyre wear kicks in a little bit more, it balances it out, and they just can't sustain their pace for an entire race. But yeah, we are going to be struggling, that's for sure. Struggling to even get through into qualifying 2, to be honest. We have got the advantage of the fact that we are top of this session, so we should be quicker than these guys. But if they start simulating sort of the top times, which they do sometimes do in Q1, then we're definitely not going to go through. So yeah, we might be a bit far down the order, and at Sachsenring, that's going to be hard to make up. So just starting my lap here in qualifying. Hopefully I am actually faster than them in sectors 1 and 2 here. That might be enough to save me. Perhaps the Power Mode 3 can carry me through. But yeah, I really did try and practice, and I still couldn't even top that session. So I'd be very surprised if I top this one. Although I only have to be in the top 4 to go through. So maybe I can go through. It is going to be close though. So towards the line, what's this time going to be? 25. Was that 26.0? So I think that's the quickest lap I've done all weekend. I think that was a little bit better than what I did earlier on. Although I might have dipped into 25, so I'm not actually sure, to be completely honest with you. We've gone pretty wide into the first corner. But currently that is top. We'll have to see. They probably will improve over the course of the session, you would have thought. But I did feel like that was a better lap than the one I did in free practice. So I think it's quicker. So then, at the end of the session, it was good enough to go through. I'm actually quite surprised at the pace we had just there. So maybe we can still fight for a good result here. Honestly, I was struggling a lot in FP1 though, and the AI did seem really fast, so don't let the fact that I've gone through this session by 7 tenths fool you or anything like that. These are the slower times for the AI. I think the AI can actually do 25s. So it's going to be tough in Q2, but I'm glad we got through Q1, so we're at least 18th on the grid, which is still not great, admittedly. I'd like to be inside that top 10 again, so we'll head into qualifying 2 now and try and do it all over again. So then, here we are in Q2, and the good part about this game really is the fact that you can use the soft tyre, because in MotoGP 21, if you went through Q1, it was pretty bad, because you needed to save medium tyres for the race, you needed medium tyres to do your qualifying laps on, you probably wanted fresh tyres for Q2 as well, so it was so difficult to manage, and you'd also use a few medium tyres in the free practice session probably just to try and actually get yourself through in the first place. So it was always so tough to actually save the tyres, but here you can actually use the soft tyre in qualifying, so that makes these things so much better. It's not nearly as bad having to go through Q1. If you can get through the session, it's not too bad. So we've got Sergio Garcia behind us then. Don't be looking for a toe. I've not got the pace this weekend, mate. I need the toe off you. I reckon this will probably end up being quite a good race, though, just because of the differences in where I'm quick and the AI. they might just slice up the inside through some of the high-speed corners, whereas I can probably dive bomb them into turn 1. Garcia's almost knocked me off already in this qualifying session, so it's already getting a bit spicy. I'm not sure if I particularly want to follow him, but we'll see. I'll see if I assume he probably won't get in my way. As long as he doesn't hold me up in Sector 1 on my actual qualifying lap, should be fine, because they're quicker than me everybody else anyway. I've now actually caught right up to Garcia, so I'm really hoping he doesn't get in my way, because he's about to be right in front of me, going to my good sector. But he might give me a slipstream down towards the first corner, which will really help me actually. So come on, Garcia. Although the problem is if I pass him in Sector 1, he'll probably pass me somewhere else and absolutely dive bomb me and ruin my lap or something. So Garcia has actually got in my way the whole way through this lap. It wasn't even just Sector 1. I passed him into Sector 1, he passed me back, and again, this sort of means he's just doing overly aggressive passes, and he's just ruined our laps, really. Because if you think about what time's at the top currently, a 26.5, I did a 26.0 in the previous session, and I'm not even underneath it, so I'm so far off my time. I mean, I made a mistake there. Look at that, I was 6 tenths off my time, nearly 7 tenths because of Garcia, so we've got to go again, but at least I know there's more in the locker. So give Garcia a lot of room, so hopefully he doesn't get in my way on this lap, so I can have another go at this. See if I can actually get closer, because I'm only 2 tenths off. I need to find 2 tenths, and I know I've got 7 tenths almost in the locker, so I reckon I could actually fight for pole here, which I didn't think about 20 minutes ago. So towards the line. What's this one going to be? Apparently it's supposed to be a few tenths underneath. It is. It's pole position, only just though, and I've just run out of fuel as well at the same time, so perfect timing. Good job we didn't run out of fuel just before that. But we've gone to the top of the timesheets then, which honestly, after FP1, I'll absolutely take that. I didn't think I was going to be anywhere near that. So then, at the end of the session, it was still pole position, only by a tenth of a second you can see, so it's very, very close here, which you would expect it being Sachsenring, how short it is. It's always going to be pretty close, but don't get too disheartened. I'm on pole position. I think it's going to be super, super close. I don't think I'm going to be able to pull away in the race or anything like that. I think we're going to get a good scrap here at Sachsenring. But Artigas is in second, Suzuki actually in third place. So Andrea Migno, my championship rival, is in fourth place. And the other championship rival down in 7th place, John McPhee. So this is an opportunity to make up some points, because we lost quite a lot of points to Migno in the last episode, and I don't want to keep doing that. So we'll head into the race now then, and my target is purely to beat Migno. So then we're down here on the grid looking at Tatsuki Suzuki in third place. And I've got to say, to be honest, I'm quite impressed by Artigas. He's been pretty fast at some of the races this season. If you remember back to Jerez, he was the only AI that was anywhere near me. He was catching me up at the end. A couple of other occasions where he's been up there at the front. So it's going to be interesting to see Artigas. I don't think he's won a race yet this season, so I'm sure he'll be desperate to do that, and I'm sure he'll give us a good fight for it. But I'm actually looking forward to this race, to be honest, because I think it is going to be a proper tough scrap, which the last couple have been as well. And I'm definitely enjoying that a lot more than checking out at the front, and I know you guys are as well, judging by the comments. And to be honest, I don't blame you. Who wants to watch someone ride around at the front on their own? That's boring. You want to see a good scrap, and I want a good scrap as well. So hopefully we get another one of those here. But without any further ado then, let's get this race started.
Here at the Sachsenring, everything's ready for the off. The riders' focus at its highest. It's crucial not to drop positions off the start on this track.
It is crucial not to drop positions off the start, because it's difficult to get them back then. So waiting for the lights to come on. Lights are on. Waiting for the lights to go here at Sachsenring. Lights out and away we go. I don't know if my launch has been the best there. I had a little bit of a delayed reaction, to be honest, to the lights. But it seems like we've got a decent start, so we head down towards the first corner. We've got the whole shot, so once again we lead through turn 1. This would be the opportunity to try and pull away, but of course Migno, okay, Migno's now back down to 4th place. Migno was briefly in second there. I was about to say, of course Migno's already got to 2nd place, but he's behind Artigas and Garcia, and now Suzuki again as well, so Migno was briefly up to 2nd place, but he's lost a few places. That's exactly why where's he gone? He's out the top 8. Is he not crashed, has he? I don't know, but Andrea Migno seems to have vanished. He's gone from 2nd, now he's up to 8th again, so it looks like there's a good battle going on behind, but I need to actually focus on the track rather than the standings, because Artigas is all over the back of me now. I need to just keep 100% focused, because this could be a great opportunity to gain some points on him. I just realised how many laps there is as well here. 7 laps. It's going to be a fairly long race. I mean, in terms of time, it's probably quite similar, but to try and do this track 7 times in a good way, that's going to be difficult. Oh, I thought I was going to pick up a track limits 1 in there. It's very easy to do that, even on the exit once we've straightened up. The bike sort of still wants to go towards the left just because you're on the path. Oh, I've clipped the curb. That was a big mistake. Well, I've definitely picked up a track that was 1 in now. Arguably, that's not very fair because I clearly lost time. But we've also lost the lead. I think that's more important. Around the outside we go of Artigas. Artigas gets the lead back though, so Xavi Artigas takes the lead here. Garcia is looking for a move as well as we go down towards the first corner. I've not got the straight line speed. I don't think I'll be able to pass Artigas into this first corner either. I'm going to try it. But no, we weren't really close enough. I probably braked a bit early if I'm being completely honest. But I don't want to do another Magello and go flying off. This could be it now. This could be race over. Artigas might win, and Garcia's on the inside as well. So my rival from qualifying's back at it again, and this is what happens. You get beat up. Ortola's on the inside as well, and we're suddenly down to 4th place. Garcia's going for a move on Artigas though. That's going to hold them up, and we're closing up to Ortola while that's happening. Artigas got back through though. Garcia wasn't able to pull that one off, but we're now right there. As we go down the waterfall, I've had to lift off the throttle a little bit because I don't want to go off the track. Can we get past Ortola? Yes, we can. Got the inside of Garcia as well. Not quite able to pull off the pass there. Ortola tries to go around the outside. I'm on the inside of Garcia. So then once again coming through the last corner. We got a good run here compared to Garcia. Can we go down towards the first corner? And to be honest, I'm quite surprised how I managed to salvage this after that big mistake on the previous lap. Garcia looks like he's going to go for the lead into the first corner. I'm going to try and follow him through on Artigas as well. Around the outside I go of Artigas. We've got him. So Artigas has dropped back. He's down to 4th place in fact as well. So Ortola also got him. So Xavi Artigas, I commended him in qualifying, but he seems to be struggling here a bit in the race. And Garcia goes a bit defensive into here. Look how much quicker I am than my previous laps through this sector. Look how much time I lost last time. So we're right on it. So Garcia is my next target. We didn't get passed by anybody through that sector. That was good, because I thought if I was going to try and take some sweeping lines to gain on Garcia, I might get overtaken. But fortunately I didn't. So now I'm going to focus all my efforts on Garcia, trying to take the lead back from him. Artigas is coming back at me though, down through the waterfall, around the outside. We've just been able to keep in front of him, but Garcia's got a decent lead now. So if we're not careful, he might start to check out. But if you look in the bottom right-hand corner, my rear tyre is really overheating. And to be honest, that left-hand side is going to be gone by the end of the race. So I'm going to have to try and maybe get to the front and slow the pace down a little bit, because I'm having to overstress my tyre to do these lap times. So at the last corner then, up towards the line. These actually are going to be decent lap times. 27.0. It's not too bad for race pace. It's pretty good. Here we go around the outside. Oh, I've been hit. I've been hit by Fodger. What is Fodger doing? Fodger just hit me out of the way. And we've lost a load of positions there. So we're now down to 5th place. I was sizing up a move on Garcia, to be honest. And then Fodger, just out of nowhere, just hit into me. And now Mino's behind me all of a sudden. Mino's definitely going to try and make a pass here. Where's Artigas going? I don't know. He's going for go to the car park. But Mino's got through. And he's got in front of Artigas at the same time. So all of a sudden, the complexion of this race changes once again. Just from Dennis Fodger hitting me out the way. And he's now hitting Garcia out the way as well. What's he doing? Fodger's on a mad one. Suzuki's now taking the lead because of that. They're all going so slow because Fodger put Garcia on the grass there coming out of that corner. Fodger's running wide again. Fodger's got some sort of problem here, but it's affected other riders. I want the inside of Fodger. We're between Fodger and Artigas. We pushed Fodger off the circuit a little bit there. I didn't really have much choice. I got sort of squeezed between the Fodger's back again. This is a good battle, I'm telling you. Down here through the waterfall, Mino's up to 3rd place also. So Mino's quickly got his way through the pack after struggling a little bit early on. Perhaps he was saving a bit of tyre, but Suzuki leads and we've been taken down. I think we were hit by Ortola or somebody there. We got a clip and then another clip and down we go. Unfortunately, I've still got bike retrieval on as well, which I really shouldn't have because the AI don't have it in this game. But that's it. That is race over and Mino's taking the lead. Mino's taking the lead. This is terrible for our championship hopes. I'm not sure who it was that took me out there. I mean, I crashed. I think I had a couple of pieces of contact. I definitely got hit by Ortola on the way in. I think maybe then I also clipped Fodger. And that was enough to tip me off the bike. That's such a shame. Such a shame. The AI were going over the line on that lap, though. Fodger had already punted me off. So, yeah, that's disappointing. But it closes up the championship for you guys again, though. So, this championship is not over yet. It looked like I was going to walk away with it a couple of races ago. You know, at the start of the previous episode, looked like I'd already won the championship. But, yeah, it's closing up quite a lot now. And I've got to hope, really, that Fodger, the guy that's basically just ruined my race right there, hopefully that he beats Mino. Oh, Fodger's crashed. So, Dennis Fodger's had a crash. That now leads Mino in 1st and McPhee in 2nd. This is literally worst case scenario. My 2 closest championship rivals are currently 1-2 in the race after I've been knocked off. That's fantastic, but I don't know what's happened to Fodger. A little bit of karma probably, because he obviously was one of the root causes of all that, and he was pushing people off the track. I don't know what Fodger was doing on that lap, to be honest. He was all over the place, because he kind of affected Garcia's race quite drastically. Garcia was sat there in the lead, and he pushed him off the track. McPhee now hits the front. We're about to start the final lap of the race, so this could be anyone's yet. Those two could end up going down. The AI are being super aggressive, it seems like. Looks like they're coming into the last corner now. It looks like Mino's got this one won with McPhee in 2nd. So literally, worst case scenario, But sadly, I didn't do anything wrong. I mean, I made one mistake in that whole race, really, and that was clipping this inside curb down here. And I'd recovered from that. I'd led the race since that happened. So I'm not going to blame that particularly, because I think they would have reeled me in anyway. And I was sitting there quite conservatively. I was ready to sort of make a move on Garcia. But no, sadly, it all got turned upside down by Dennis Fodger. But here we go then, up towards the line. We're going to be 30th place after that crash. What a shame. What a shame. So then, like I said, Andrea Mino won the race out of John McPhee in second place and Tatsuki Suzuki in third. Can't really complain too much. Fair play to those three riders. They did a good job. They didn't do anything wrong. They just, you know, you can only race in the race you're in, you know. The other guy gets knocked off. That's not your fault. So fair play to those guys. I'm not obviously bitter about that. They won the race. It's just unfortunate that we also got knocked off. I would like to see where Fodger finished. Where did Fodger finish? 22nd. The good thing that did happen here, I did realise I still had bike retrieval on, which is something I'm going to turn off because the AI don't have it anymore this year, so that's a completely unfair advantage they have there. Well, actually, I did beat my teammate, who retired apparently, so there was probably a few crashes throughout that race. I'd like to have another look at it, to be honest, but we'll have a look at the damage to the championship first. I think I'm going to be leading by 8 points now. So it's actually 9 points, but either way, it's still pretty close. That's only a podium's worth now, so that's way closer than I would like, and it's not a runaway anymore. It's now close. McPhee's within a race win again now. Everybody else, I think, is still pretty far out. I mean, we've got Artigas, who, to be fair, is actually doing fairly well this season. Still over three race wins behind. Suzuki's getting on for that. Ortola's over 2. So really, it is between us top 3. And McPhee is a whole race wins behind, but you can make that amount of points up. Fodger is 11th in the championship with 46 points. That shows you how bad his season's been. Absolutely terrible. But Mino is becoming a massive threat here. In the last 3 races, he's taken so many points out of me. And after that, we actually moved down to 2nd in the Team Championship, which is super unfortunate. Not a lot I could do about that, but Snipers retake the lead then. Max Racing actually move up to 3rd place, just ahead of Red Bull KTM Io there. But in the next race, I want to try and get that win. I want to try and take a bit more of a championship lead, and I want to try and get this Team's Championship back. But we'll quickly have a look at the replay, because I do want to see what happened with that race, with that crash, sorry. It was a little bit strange. I feel like I did just get completely nerfed off by Ortola and then clipped by Fodger, and that was enough to unsettle the bike and have me off. So on board with myself then, obviously this is the point of view we've already seen once before, but now I actually get to see what the AI are doing, and yes, it actually was Ortola that took me out. To be fair, Fodger in that instance didn't really do anything wrong. I'd already crashed at this point. I mean, look at this. The bike is completely gone, so there was no contact with Fodger that had me off. I just saw myself drift back towards him and then on the floor. But yeah, it was definitely Ortola that wiped me out completely, which is a shame. So he's nowhere near me at this point. Look how far away he actually is. I mean, he's not even, this is not an overtaking range really. Down into here. And he just rolls it through, clips me, has me off, and he sort of carries on like nothing happened. He obviously lost a place to McPhee there. Oh, Mino was pretty aggressive after that. You see him dive into the inside, but yeah, that was a very clumsy move here by Ivan Ortola. So then, now that I've seen that incident and I know what happened, I'm going to head back to the career hub now. We'll do everything we need to do between this race and the next one, and then we'll head into Assen. So then, we actually lose reputation, which is really disappointing because it wasn't my fault at all. We got knocked off by Ivan Ortola, and there's nothing I could do about it, but we lost 1,400 reputation, which takes me down to 46,700. And we didn't get paid any credits because you only get paid credits on the race result. However, we actually did have a good weekend on the development test, even though I didn't particularly try to do any of them, which is interesting. So we now have 740 on the engine and 250 on the frame. And to be honest, I'd imagine that's probably enough to fully upgrade the bike if we have a quick look. No, actually, we are going to need some more on the engine by the looks of it. But even still, there's still another week for the upgrade that's currently on. So that should actually come in just after Assen. But there's nothing else to deal with then. So we're heading to Assen. I want some revenge here. 30th place after being knocked off. Not taking that. I'm going for pole and win here. So then, at the end of practice here in Assen, I managed to go top of the timesheets. Once again, it was very similar to Sachsenring. It was very, very tough to do so. The times were a lot better than I was expecting. And to be honest, their straight line speed advantage seems huge at this track. You would think Assen, not too much for the straight line speed, but on the Moto3 bike, a lot of the fast, high-speed corners are completely flat out. So they have a big advantage over me over there. Managed to use some power mode 3 to neutralise it, and we managed to go top of the session. But you can see we're only a couple attempts quicker than the guys behind, so it'll be interesting to see if they do improve in the next 3 practice sessions to shuffle me back down again. But hopefully this time I don't. Hopefully they actually let me stay in this so I don't have to go through Q1 again. But we're heading to qualifying now then. Hopefully we're in Q2, and I'm going for that pole and win. I'm desperate for it after that last race. So then, here we are in qualifying 2, and yes, you can see I am still top of the timesheet, so my time was still good enough to stay top, so we are here in Q2. But coming through Q1 then we've got Kaito Toba, Matteo Bertelli, Alberto Sora and Elia Bartolini. So do I have that development test again where I have to beat the other QJ motors? No, actually I don't apparently, so they just seem to be a little bit quicker this weekend, which is always good to see. It bodes well for the bike. But honestly, again, I think this is going to be another little scrappy race once we get into it. Obviously I've got to get qualifying out of the way first. But it seems like the AI are very aggressive once again. They've got a bit of a straight line speed advantage, a bit like they did in some of the earlier rounds like Qatar and Mandalika, which obviously produced some good racing. Well, Qatar, okay, was not really good racing. It was overly aggressive. Qatar was very similar to Sachsenring, really, in terms of the AI were way over the line. And fortunately, I didn't get taken down in that episode, but I did, of course, at the last race. If I can put it on pole, I probably can put a good enough first lap together to maybe just put a bit of a gap so I'm not in danger. But we'll see. I've got to get on pole first. So then starting our lap in qualifying, we're still side by side with Fernandez. I'm hoping I can get past him. There we go. We got past him. I just hope he doesn't attack me because the AI have been very aggressive in this first sector. They seem slower than me there, but they'll come back up the inside when I'm trying to take more of a sweeping line. So I really hope he doesn't do that. So coming up towards the line then. What's the time going to be? Holgado is currently top with a 42.6. I've just done a 41.8, so a good chunk faster there. Adrian Fernandez has gone third, so I imagine the AI are going to improve slightly because the top AI... Actually, I was about to say the top AI haven't done times, but Garcia has. It looks like Masia and Mino probably have it already as well, judging by where they are on the timesheets. So, yeah, this could be close. Suzuki's up to second, so might be another case where they've just lost a lot of pace going into qualifying, or maybe I've done a new personal best lap. I can't exactly remember what I did in free practice, to be completely honest. It might be a better lap than I did then. So then, at the end of the session, it was good enough for pole position, so we take yet another one. I've completely lost count of how many this is now. I think it's probably easier to remember the ones where I've not been on pole. I think there's 3 races I've not been on pole. I think Qatar, Mandalika and Catalonia, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, another pole position. We're keeping that streak going. And I think that's something that just seems to happen in the Moto3 class on these games. You can get a lot of pole positions. But the AI do tend to step it up in the race a little bit. But it looks like we have got the pace here. So, I desperately need to win. My 2 championship rivals are right next to me. So, this could be a cracking race. I've got to give it everything. So then we're down here on the grid looking at Andrea Mino in 3rd position. Now this is going to be one of those interesting races because the AI looking like they're pretty aggressive, looking like they're pretty fast on the straights. We saw what happened in Sachsenring if you let them get half a chance. Apparently I've been given the number 91 on the grid for some reason. I assume I probably lost internet connection there, I would have thought. I think that's usually the sign of that. It will just give you a random number if you lose internet connection, so... Little bit weird there, but we're running the number 91 for this race then apparently. But either way then maybe we can take the number 91 to the top step of the podium. But we need to select our tyres. Obviously we want to go medium. So the AI might be a bit more on my pace when I'm on the medium tyres because I was really struggling to do their lap times in free practice when I was on the mediums. So that might close the race up a little bit, but I guess we'll have to see. We'll get this race started then now, and hopefully it's another good one.
There's something magical about racing at Assen. The crowd is ready, the riders are ready, we're ready, and in a few moments we'll see the start of the Dutch Grand Prix.
So here we are then on pole position, McPhee alongside Mino in 3rd place. Lights are on, waiting for the lights to go out here at the Dutch TT. Lights out and away we go. We've had a pretty decent start once again. We've gapped them a little bit. About 0.4 of a second. Tends to be about the case if you get a decent run. You always tend to get the whole shot. I mean, remember back to Catalonia in the last episode where we went from 7th to 1st in a matter of corners. We've done that first corner pretty well. Still got 0.4 of a second lead, so we should be okay to sort of take the normal line through here. And they shouldn't pass me up the inside, which is always nice. So at the end of this first sector then, order is still the same as it was before. Myself from McPhee, from Mino, from Moreira, from Suzuki. So there's not been much overtaking. It's a bit like the opposite really of the last race at Sachsenring. There was so much overtaking on those opening couple of laps. Mino was bouncing all around. He was up to 2nd place and outside the top 8 a couple of corners later. It was a pretty aggressive start. But it seems like they are a little bit more reserved this time, which is good because it looks like they're going to be able to go with me, and I don't want them to be super aggressive if they are going to do that. I'll tell you what, they've gained on me a lot through there. It's not even necessarily the straights because here comes John McPhee. I'm going to have to go off Palmo 3. I wanted to use 3 to try and get away a little bit on this lap. But I'm already running low on fuel and there was a bit of contact there with McPhee. I got a flashback to, I think actually, Assen last year, I think I had contact with John McPhee in that very section and ended up on the ground. Oh, I've cut the chicane. I've picked up a track limits warning. I need to focus on the riders, not thinking about back to MotoGP 21. What happened there? That doesn't matter. That's all irrelevant now. But we've lost the lead to McPhee then. Good job we didn't lose the position to Mino. But the AI, they are looking quick here at Assen, especially on these when I'm on these medium tyres. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with, that's for sure. Oh, Mino's up the inside. Mino's just punted me out the way. So once again, the AI back to their dirty tricks. Well, two can play at that game. We're going on the inside. Oh, that was super aggressive on Mino there. Where the gap was there. He sort of moved over to cover it, but it was a bit late. I'll tell you what, McPhee will be getting away at this rate. He's already got half a second on us. And we're coming up towards the section where they gained loads of time on me last time. I reckon McPhee has about got this win wrapped up. So McPhee is definitely checking out. He's got 7/10 of a second over me now. I've got to watch out for Moreira, who's now behind me. He's not made a pass into turn 1, fortunately. But again, I've got to watch out through these right-handers that they don't try and make a pass there. I feel like I might be able to just still latch onto the back of McPhee, because that doesn't look like 6/10 to me. That looks closer. I don't know whether it's just because I'm hoping Moreira had a look, but Moreira didn't manage to pull it off, so it's good for me. There's been a crash behind. Don't know who it is, but we're closing back up towards the back of John McPhee. Only a little amount. Might use a little bit of power 3 out of here, just to try and keep with him, not lose too much time. Because I'm not giving up on this win yet. I think I can go with him. He seems to have the pace over me, but I think if I can just get close enough, just to catch a bit of slipstream, I can get back onto the back of him. We did that chicane beautifully though. Tell you what, that has about put me on the back of him. Fast up of the race to me, 42.4. If I can do this first sector well, we're back in the game here. We're back into his slipstream. Out of Strubant. We are right there. Mino's now made a pass on Moreira, so Mino's back up to 3rd. But it might be a little bit too little too late, although he's only half a second behind. If you think about how much time I've gained up McPhee, he could do it. We're right back with McPhee now, though. We are back on the back of John. So he stopped in checking out. See, I'm once again on a personal best, so I'm just getting quicker and quicker every lap, getting more and more comfortable. And I've got to say, it is easier following an AI, to be honest, than trying to do the lap time on your own in the lead. I suppose I just needed a couple of laps, really, to compose myself once I've been past him. And a crash. Mino! It's Mino! Mino's down! That is massive for this championship. So after one race after I've been taken out and Mino picks up a full 25 points, it's possible that I can return the favour with a crash there for Andrea Mino. So now I've got to go all out. I mean, really, I could just settle for this second position. That might be the safer thing to do. But I want to beat McPhee. I need to gain points on him too. And I want a full 25 there on Mino. Try and reverse the damage of the first race of this episode. And I don't think it's going to be too crazy to try and make a move here on McPhee. I'm pushing. But we've got a decent gap behind now to Moreira. We've got 6 and nearly 7/10 of a second. And I'm not too far off the back here of John McPhee. I can sort of sit here and try and make a move on the last lap. This is where he pulls away from me though through this corner here. There's been a crash behind once again. Fodger. So De Bolt seems to be a corner where they're going down. That's where Mino crashed on the last lap. Honestly, he didn't gain too much on me there. I think now the tyres are going off a little bit. Now that I'm back on the back of him, he probably can't do the same line he was doing before. You can see I still am on my personal best lap. So McPhee is not going slow here. We are both pushing on really hard. Through the penultimate turn, he's made a bit of a mistake there to lift quite a bit. We're right on the back of him now. Going into the last chicane. Couldn't really turn in there because I was on the curb. Through the last chicane then. Coming up towards the line, about to start the final lap of the race. This is crucial. I've only got 0.4 of a lap of fuel left. I've got to watch out for that because it's tempting to use Palmo 3 to try and get close to him on these straights. But I don't want to run out of fuel. Try and square him off out of it. We've got half a lap left now. Put it up to Palmo 3. I need to make the pass really at De Bolt at the latest. I need to be in front of him before there. We've got a slipstream. Here we go. We're about to take the lead of this Dutch TT. Here we go. The inside of John McPhee. We've taken the lead. Can we swoop around the outside? The rear steps out a little bit before the grip is still there. The grip is actually still pretty good on the left-hand side. If you look on the right-hand side of the screen at the tyres, look how much time we're underneath our time. 4/10 of half a second here, but McPhee's coming back. We need to keep the lead through De Bolt. It's crucial because the next section is where he gains a lot of time on us. So there we go. We keep the lead through De Bolt. Here he is. He's right behind me now as we tip it into the Mandevine. There's been a crash behind. I've been put off by the yellow flag a bit. McPhee is up the inside. McPhee retakes the lead. Can I get a little bit on the exit here? We're right there. We're closer to John McPhee than we ever have been through this section because we were leading him through the start of that corner. We're virtually pushing McPhee along here side by side. We've got to be careful. This is deja vu to last year, but we've retaken the lead once again. Somehow we've outdone the AI on the straight. I got a bit of a slipstream, didn't I? As we go down towards the final chicane, got a break as late as I dare, but not too late. They're running hot. I don't want to do a wheelie in the middle of the chicane. I've messed up a little bit. Up towards the line. McPhee trying to get it. But here we go towards the line. We're going to take the win. But I don't know whether that really should count because we messed up that last chicane. We won on the green, but McPhee wasn't able to get back in front. I tell you what, I don't really know how to feel about that one because, in my view, we should lose the win for that touching the green at the chicane. Granted, I did try and lift off, but that's kind of ruined that a little bit, because that was such a good little battle. And then I've just gone on the green at the chicane. I mean, a fairly decent chunk really as well. It was a big mistake. And in real life, we would have lost the win for that. But unfortunately, in the game, there is no check for that. So I guess as far as the game is concerned, we've won the race there. I'm not too big of a fan of that. If I could go and change the results, I certainly would. Sadly, we can't do that. So I'm going to take the win here then from John McPhee in second position. Diogo Moreira in third. Tatsuki Suzuki in fourth. With Yama Masia in fifth position. Where did Mino finish? Did he not remount? No, he didn't. Mino didn't remount. So we'll have to go and have a look at that crash for Mino. But that is massive for the championship. So look at the championship then. McPhee now becomes my closest rival once again. 28 points behind me. Mino now 34 points back. Suzuki in 4th place, 83 points behind. Ortola in 5th, 85 behind. So all those riders once again falling quite far out of contention. It really is the battle of us at the top. Myself, McPhee and Mino. And in the Teams Championship, we've retaken that lead. So just as I promised, we got the pole, we got the win. And we've taken a bigger lead in the championship. Taken that Teams back. But I just feel really uneasy about it, to be honest. I really do. I'm sure most of you guys in the comments will agree with me as well, that I touched that green at the chicane by a decent amount, and I probably did gain a little bit from it, because obviously I'd braked later than McPhee into the chicane. In real life MotoGP, we would have 100% have lost the victory for that. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think. I personally think that that's an illegal victory, but I can't really do anything about it now, because the race is already done. We're going to have a look at that crash though for Mino. I presume he clipped the inside curb at De Bolt, because we saw McPhee on many laps was taking a similar line, and a lot of riders always crash there every year, so it'll be interesting to see, but I think that's probably what he did. So here we are then on board with Mino, and yeah, it looks like that's going to be the case. He clips the grass actually on the inside, has a bit of a high side because he touches the grass, and down he goes, and a couple more down as well there. That looks like Foggia going down, and that is the other sniper's bike of Sura. So both snipers down there, and oh, was that one of the Vision Trap bikes being taken out there also? Looks like it potentially might have been. But with that incident looked at then, we'll head back to the career hub now, and we'll end off the episode. So then, from that weekend, we gained 5,200 reputation points, which takes us up to 51,900. And from the race, we gained 6,110 credits, which takes us up to 110,560. We also managed to pass all of the objectives except race pace. Again, I wasn't even trying to do it, it was just me trying to get through into qualifying 2. But that now gives us 981 on the engine and 410 on the frame. So we're very close to being able to get that final engine upgrade, because I think we need 1,000 for that. Speaking of the engine upgrades actually, that new one is now in. So there's just one more upgrade to go. And yeah, it is just 1,000. I think I know. Actually, there's 2 left. I didn't actually realise there's one over here as well. So actually, we do need a little bit more on the engine. But that's fuel consumption reduction. This is going to be a maximum torque increase. So I think I'm going to hang on a little bit longer and get this upgrade just to get that maximum torque increase, because we saw once again today the AI definitely still have a straight line speed advantage. There's also a notification on the technical staff front, so we'll have a look at that. It's a new data analyst applying, Thomas Kozak. He's actually B grade, but he's better on the aero and electronics, which don't matter in this category, so I'm not going to go with him there. With all those notifications dealt with then, that pretty much brings this episode to a close, so I hope you guys did enjoy that one. A pretty controversial episode throughout. Of course, we got taken down in Sachsenring, no fault of my own, after we'd been hit by Dennis Foggia. And then, of course, that victory at the last corner there with John McPhee. I touched the green. I need to watch it back myself. I think I took quite a big chunk. Perhaps I only touched it a little bit, but I know I made a mistake. It's just one of those things. It kind of feels wrong that I get the victory for that, but that's just how these things are. It is a bit of a shame. But I hope you guys did enjoy that one. Hope you enjoyed the rest of your day. Hope you're all staying safe, and I shall see you in the next one.